Hello and welcome to this week's edition of What's Dave Up To in the Shed this week. It's Monday. I've got a few jobs on that I've planned to do this week, and I've just been out to gather some supplies. But have a look at this. How good's this? I went to the local Bunnings. Shout out to Glenn. I told him I'd give him a shout out. And I found some paint. Just as I was exiting our local Bunnings, they have a clearance rack. Look at this. Rust converter, dry mark, spray paint, looks good. Primer and sealer, you know the stuff. $7. Retail, about $18.20. But how about that for a score? Feels like it's a full 10. Don't know why it was on the clearance rack. Rattles. I haven't lifted the lid to see if there's a nozzle there. That's not a problem. We can put a nozzle on that and sort that out. But how good's that? How's good's that? Okay, also at Bunnings. Glenn said, are you here to buy Ryobi? I'm going, no, not today. But look at that. Scored a couple of Ryobi pens. Always good to get Ryobi merch. Also had to go to the other place, Super Cheap Auto. I like the Super Cheap Auto cheap and nasty spray paint. Had to buy some white paint. That is for the tractors. We'll talk more about tractors during the week. Got some interesting stuff about the tractors. There's some tape, silicon sealing tape, and I've got a BSP connector to try and sort out this silly air supply. It's bugging me. I've got to get this sorted and to get it off the bench. But also, unfortunately, or fortunately not good, I had to go to a local clothing store called Miller's, which are closing down. Now, it's not just the local store closing, the whole chain is closing down. But I'd gone down there last week and inspected some shop fittings and made an offer on some shop fittings. And you go, Dave, what do you want shop fittings for? And I'll show you. Have a look at this. This is what I got. $20, which, okay, quite happy to make a donation for them for $20, but it's a stand out of a shop. But what's the amazing thing about it is, A, it's on wheels. See if we can zoom out and show you the full thing. Big heavy base, takes a bit to whack, it's on wheels. And it looks like this. See if we can get a photo of it a bit better. And you're going to go, what do you want that for? Well, folks, lighting stand. Portable lighting stand. I've got to put a bolt in this, but this bit here, this arm, you can't see what I'm doing on video, can you? This arm goes up and down. This arm's a bit of a pain, but we might just cut the end off or do something with it. But it's got some screw-in fittings there. We could screw something into it. But how about this? We'll see if my idea comes to plan. But big heavy base on wheels. Sorry, very annoying, but I can't zoom and video at the same time, so I had to quickly stop the pause the video to zoom and see if we can get this. But let's just push it over here for a bit. I'll walk back. So it's this shop fitting. It's designed to have clothes hanging off at either side, but I reckon so many uses. But my immediate use is work light over the workbench, or if you want to run your vacuum hose in it. Pull this bit up here, adjust it. It's got holes here so we can put a bolt in, adjust it to the right height. That's my thinking. All 401 uses, but a bit of a bargain. 20 Australian dollars. Couldn't say no. There's 4 wheels on it that would be worth $20 in their own right. I'd love to have a set of scarves to weigh this because it is heavy, even for me to lift and carry. Well, I'm not the big person. I reckon the base in it must be 10 kilos. Easy. But well, you want a really strong base that wouldn't drop over when it's full of clothes. But yeah. Anyway, enough banging your gums, Dave. Let's see if we can get on with some jobs and talk to these good people later. I'll get out of your hair now for a bit. Yeah, by the way, there is a coffee involved. Look at that, the old Big Bird mug. The old Big Bird mug. The only mug in the shed's really you, Dave, isn't it? But anyway, yeah. Let's slurp on the coffee and see what mischief we can get into. So I'm going to yell over the sound of the compressor and hope you can hear me. We've rebuilt this line here. We've rebuilt my monstrous as a fitting, so we have an air line coming in. We have a tap, we have a pressure gauge, and we have air line coming out on the Niton connector. So currently I'm charging this tank up. So hopefully it'll charge up. We will close the valve and we'll see what happens. So with the compressor running, if I release it, we do have air flowing out. The regulator here is to limit the amount of air. We only want about, I think we've got it set about 20 psi, only a little bit, only about that much, just to blow a bit of air around for cleaning purposes on the job we want to do. So my tank is now full. Well, I hope it is. This is on a 60 psi line, so I assume that there is 60 psi in that tank. So what we can now do in theory is we can shut the delivery valve off. So that is now off. There's no air coming in. And we now have a tank full of air releasing. And I can't hear any leaks. I would like to at some stage put a gauge in here that does show the air in the tank. But I suppose when it runs out of air, you'll know. Or we put another one of these regulators, we might do that later, on the inside. So then we can regulate that we don't overpressure the tank, and that will probably tell us how much air is in the tank. I'm not sure if that is actually, that is giving us our gauge to show us our air supply, but that's not reading 60, where in theory there should be 60 bar in the tank. So I just think that's, yeah, have to try and work that out. Because in theory, when I've got that on a 60 PS line, that should charge up to 60 PSI. The next test, I suppose, we put it in the 120 PSI line and see if we can blow the thing up. No, we shouldn't do that. Anyway, happy to get this job off the bench. I'm going to release this. Oh, should have turned the valve off first, Dave. We might recharge it again, off camera, so you don't have to put up the noise. And then I'm going to set this aside and see how long it holds air for. Hey, this will be interesting. Hang on. No, I won't do that. Hang on. So in theory, there should be 60 psi of air supply in this. We will turn the valve off, drop the line off, and I'm going to lift this off the bench because I need the bench space for the next task, and we'll set it and see how long it takes to leak all the air out. Take that off because I want me fitting off back on the airline, but anyway, it's a two-hand job. So I've got 2 trays of parts here, which are all the parts you need to assemble a big Budd tractor. I've been improving my design and doing some bits and pieces. Everything in this tray over here is all the white parts. All the parts that are white on the tractor, I've printed in white PLA. Over in this tray are all the parts that would be black. Now, I don't have any black filament on hand, so I've printed them in these, or whatever filament I had on hand, in bits and pieces, and I am going to then spray paint all these bits black. But the idea at this stage is for somebody who wanted to do the tractor and wasn't really a modeler, they could print out the white parts in white and the black parts in black, and to assemble the tractor like that way. Now, I'm not a big fan of, for my modelling purpose, of unpainted PLA. I just think it looks like a plastic model, unpainted, but there we go. That's what the reason for the white paint over here is. Anyway, we'll talk about more as we go along. So I'm going to lay out some parts and show you what I've done. So this is the engine assembly for the tractor. It is the donk, or the engine, and the exhaust pipe and the air cleaners. Previously they were in a couple of different components you had to print out and glue up. Now I've decided, in having a crack at this, I've done them all in one piece. So all the pipes are connected. Now in CAD it fits in the tractor nicely. So well, anyway, we'll see what happens. I've got to clean up the rafting and what they call the support materials off this, and then I'll hit it with some black spray paint. But normally if you're doing this as a PLA print, you'd have that in black. Now on this one, unfortunately the top of the exhaust has failed, but good enough. The bend over tip has failed, but for what we're doing, good enough crack, good enough thing. So yeah, these parts, the green parts, were printed on one of the Adventure 4 printers, the Adventure 3 printers, and the white parts were printed on my Ender 3. Once I do this, because I've got the 2 different printers running at the same time, but also it then means I've tested on different printers. So I hopefully produce stuff that anybody can then grab offline and print. So that is the idea. Now I also might, down the track, I might print them as a kit. So I will sell you a kit of parts and you assemble your own tractor, and then I will be then again printing them in white and black. Or we might sell assembled tractors. We don't know, but doing this so there is all opportunities. But anyway, that's where we're at this stage on Mr. Bud tractor. So I've now got to clean some of these parts up and then get some of the paint move and just clean these up. So this part here is the back end of the tractor. It was originally in 2 parts. There was the tractor, actually it was 5 parts. The articulation parts, the drawbar, I've put it all into so it's actually one piece print. Now the compromise is that the underneath the tow bar or the drawbar is meant to run right underneath the axle, but you can't get the axle in like that, so I've left that bit out. But anyway, doesn't really matter. I'll show you that later. So in this tractor, that was a whole, everything was printed as original as all the different parts. So that drawbar is there underneath the axles, and it goes in as in the real tractor. Now I've glued that on so it didn't fall around, bounce around. It could probably sit in this. The design is that you could put a pin down and hold the 2 parts together. I'm not doing that because pretty much it is a push fit. So that's the idea. So in this part of the print, and you'll see when it's cleaned up, there's not that bottom drawbar across that. You wouldn't notice there, and if you just don't know much about the tractor, you probably didn't know it is meant to be there. I'm just babbling now. Anyway, I've got some work to do. Well, there's the wheels and bits and pieces pretty much ready to spray black. At the moment I'm printing the wheels and the diff separately, although I might, for the quick print version, I might actually, next trick, I'm going to investigate printing the wheels and the axle all as one piece, because if you're printing it in a black PLA, you might as well just print it all in one piece so it just fits in the tractor. At this stage for this kit, I've actually printed the grille separately because I plan to paint that black and stick it in the radiator. But once again, for the quick print version, I might go back to putting the radiator as part of the grille, as part of the bonnet and the hood, and if somebody wants to paint that separately, well, they can just do that in their own model and just have it print in the white. Now, this is the engine block. If you haven't seen something that has come off a 3D printer, this is what it looks like. Now, I am using standard printing settings. I'm using an 0.02 nozzle. I use what they call standard common print in the slicer. 0.2 standard settings, not doing fast, not doing slow. That will not make a lot of sense to some people. Now, these bits and pieces, when they come off your 3D printer, they're a bit like old Airfix kits where you had to cut the stuff off the sprue. Now on the bottom of this, because it's a heating method, this has what they call a skirt, and the skirt is just a little bit of plastic that helps there, that on the first layer of the print, it puts that skirt down to help hold the print on the print bed. Some printers you actually have to glue, put a bit of glue on the print bed, and the machine builds the model on top of the glue and holds it in place. I have heated beds on all my printers, so there's that little bit of plastic there to hold it down while it's printing so it doesn't move. The bigger the piece, you probably don't need it, but little pieces like this to get them to stick. This is what we call support material, which is tree support, because it looks like a tree. They're little branches up, because 3D printers can't print in mid-space, that as it builds the print up layer by layer, it also adds support material. Well, I put that in the settings, so it then holds the bits and pieces in space. Now that may sound gobbledygook to people, but I'm just explaining it. So now I have to cut all that away before I paint it. Like you would cut sprues off an Airfix kit if you're painting them, I've got to do the same here. I've got to cut all that material off just with a pair of clippers, a pair of side cutters type of. Most of these are actually designed to pull off, actually, if you're careful, but I'm going to nip these off. So that's where I'm up to. And then we'll do some painting, and then I'll get back to you. Oh, these tyres, that stack of tyres there without the axle, that is about a 3-hour print. So those 4 wheels plus the axles, and they've all done on the one same printer. So that has been on that printer. That's about 12 hours, or even probably 14 hours, including the actual printing time in a printer. FDM and even resin printers, they're not fast. People go, why do you have 4 printers, Dave? Well, in one printer, printing those, that's 12 hours of printing time. Imagine if I was doing this on a commercial scale. I also get a bit impatient, where if I'm building something like this, I like to have, like I've had 2 printers going working on this job. I have one printer printing the white parts and one printer printing the greeny parts. We're going to play back. We're going to one printer printing the greeny parts that I'm going to spray black. This engine print here, that was about a 3-hour print. Just that bit of material. So the print time across the 2 printers is probably about 12 hours, 14 hours on each printer. So overall print time, if I was doing it all on one printer, you're looking at about 24 hours printing time just to get the model to this stage. Anyway, I'm going to do my prep, and then I'm going to do my paint. So that's all my parts tidied up. They're going to go to the spray booth now and get painted black. I'll get into that, and I'll show you what happens after that. Oh, squeaky door in the background. So there we are, that's in the spray booth. Painted all the black parts, painted all the black parts black. I've just used some rattle can spray paint. That is the stuff that you get from Super Cheap Auto. You can also buy it at Silly Solly's, a few other places, but cheap and nasty black paint, nothing special. I get, I'm a member of the VIP club at Super Cheap, so you can get it even cheaper. And whacked on. Now, if I was going to do a really, really good quality job, I'd be setting up the old airbrush and putting, mixing up some paint, using some good SMS and enamel, and putting down a really, really good finish. But this is just a prototype, testing ideas, doing it that. So there's, like you can see, there's the wheels and tyres, there's the grille, the diffs, and the donk, all painted black, ready for the next stage, which will be assembly. Well, paint drying, roll them over, spray the bottoms, then we're looking at assembly. Okay, I'll get out of your hair now. I've got to go back to the computer and do some design work, because I've come up with some ideas how to improve the design. That's what happens when you start spraying paint and doing pieces. You go, oh, I could probably do that a bit better if I do this and this and this. So anyway, I'll get out of your hair now. I'll talk to you later. So I'm going to shoot this on my phone off the screen on the computer. And people say, no. Yes, I do have some screen capture software somewhere, but it's hard to run the screen capture software and also talk and record the audio. But anyway, this is Tinkercad. This is a CAD design program, really simple, really easy to use. This is my wheels for the big bud, the wheels and the diff and all together. And I've joined it all together as one piece. Previously, you've seen me print the wheels and the diff separately, but anyway, I've joined them all in one piece together, and I'm then going to send this to the slicer program. Okay, so I've already done that. So anyway, let's just jump screen. So over here is my slicer. Now the slicer takes the CAD file and gets it ready to send to the printer. So this is the slicer program for the Flash Forge printers. Now I just use the Flash Forge slicer, because for me it's fine. A lot of people go, oh, Orca slicer and everything else. Forget about it. Off the shelf, it's the Flash Forge Adventure 3 printer. I'm using the off the shelf that comes with the printer slicer. So this file is now printer ready. So this blue material that I'm pointing at with the mouse is the support material. So it's going to lay that to support the print. So this is our print. This is our support material. So this software does all this for you. It puts all this in place, gets it ready to send to the printer. Now it tells me that this is going to take 6 hours and 7 minutes. It's going to use 15 meters of material, and that's the name of the file. And those figures are normally pretty accurate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the preview, and I'm going to click on this button over here, and I'm going to send this to the printer. Now it goes via Wi-Fi. That printer is on Wi-Fi, so I go send. Pinky is the computer we want it on. So it's saying Pinky's ready online, ready to go. And I go, yep, send that. There's the file name. That print is now being sent to Pinky. And it says Pinky is printing. What I can do now is I can click on this and it says the camera is off. We'll turn the camera on and I can look at Pinky, the printer, getting ready to go. All from the design computer. So here we go. I'll go down, we'll have a look at print. So this tells me the temperature of the printer and the bits of the printer and where the printer is and what file it's printing on the screen. Don't have to know the ins and outs of that. But there I can see that that is ready to go. And we'll go and have a look at it soon when it's actually printing. But that 2 bits of plastic, well, those wheels and that axle, that is going to take just over 6.5 hours. We're on the 6.5 hours to print. 3D printing is not a quick process. So here we are is the printer printing. Now this printer's got a bright light in it so you can monitor on the camera what it's doing. Unfortunately it doesn't like light on the phone. I could turn the light off on the print head there, but I've got to pause the print to do it. We don't want to do it. So the computer says it's got 6 hours, 8 minutes to go. At this stage, it's only just started laying down the support material to hold that on the bed. So that is our material to support the print. And we'll have a look at the print goes further along. So it lays this down layer by layer by layer. So it just lays down everything on a piece. If you haven't seen a 3D printer before, working before, that's laying down a layer by layer by layer. Now this is an Adventure free, flash forward Adventure free. There's a fantastic printer. I used to recommend them for people who wanted to have a start in 3D printing, but unfortunately you'll have to go for the Model 5, which on paper looks good, on videos look good, but can't actually. So here am I sitting on my fat butt in the office, watching the printer printing that axle assembly that we sent to it. That's the file we sent down here. I'm running a dual monitor system down on the bottom screen. Got all my design stuff, and on the top screen up here I use it to monitor the printer. So it's the printer there printing layer by layer by layer the axle and tyre assembly. So here I am in the actual printer room with the printer. This is a Flash Forge Adventure Free. This would be my recommended printer for anybody, well, used to be, you can't get them anymore. What available is they often appear eBay and places and probably sell out. My recommended printer now, I would recommend you to go, if you know nothing about 3D printing, is to go with the Flash Forge 5M Pro. I have no experience of those. I'm just going on what I've seen on the internet. They're a very good drop-in setup and go machine. Now this is printing layer by layer by layer. There is a LED light in there that is going to smear out the thing. This has a camera in it so I can monitor it remotely, as you saw. I can turn that LED off, but I've got to pause the print to do it, which I don't want to do because it slows time. So the machine says it now has 5 hours and 41 minutes to go. Shows me a little picture of what it's doing, and it is laying down that print layer by layer by layer. Now as this is doing this, I can sit back and watch it. These machines often fail. My print failure about is probably about one in every 10 prints fails for all sorts of reasons. So while you can just let it go and print, yeah, you do need to keep an eye on them. Now, especially if you're printing something you've never printed before. This is the first time I've printed this part in this format, so I am going to monitor it for a bit to make sure it's going okay. So far it looks okay, but you never know what's going to happen. Reality printer, it's printing a bonnet for the Budd tractor, and as once again it's printing layer by layer by layer. You can see that it's just working along printing the bonnet. It's almost finished, this print. Now I've set this up so a lot of that print material, unfortunately there is some waste involved in 3D printing. I've tried to limit it as possible, but 75% of this print is we're going to chuck it away. It is the support material, but to print it like this, it's the best way to get a nice, clean, flat surface on this part. So here's all my black tyres and parts, or black tyres, I've taken the parts out, all printed up. Now, the centre hub and the centre rim of this is meant to be white on these tyres on this tractor, and I thought I'd try an experiment. I got some cheap white flat paint, matte white from Super Cheap Auto. This is the 5-star cheap, super cheap auto paint, and I've made up a print mask. I've printed up this piece of plastic, and I've designed it in Tinkercad and made it up so it says paint mask, and hopefully I'm going to mask off that centre hub and that centre rim and spray paint that white. This is a big experiment. It might work, it might not. There's only one way to try out. Now, with all this DIY stuff and modelling stuff, you've got to try out new designs. I've done masking before with masking tape and bits and pieces, but I want to come up with a way so if you're doing this as a kit and you've printed the tyres in black, but you want to do the white, you can do it quick and easily. And why not work out this print mask? So let's see if this works. It may work, it may not. We've all seen spray painting before from a rattle can, so I don't need to show you that. Some success. Now, there is a lot of overspray, unfortunately, because it may be the can I've used, but I can probably touch that up with the can. But okay, we've had some success. Let's keep on with the idea. So I've just taken the mask off. It's not too bad. There is some overspray, so I've got to probably do my technique or do something, but I can fix up that overspray with the old spray back rattle can. But okay, we'll crack on. This might work, it might not. Well, it wasn't a complete failure, but it wasn't a complete success either, because you do get a bit of bits and pieces and overspray. But anyway, it was an interesting idea. We tried something. You've got to try new things. For an experiment, that's okay. The results are okay. Bit hit and miss. We would have to improve the technique. The biggest hassle is using a rattle can. I tried to spray it with the can horizontal. Of course, that doesn't work. Really, spray cans like to go vertical. But anyway, we have tyres with a black rim. Black tyres and white rims. Some success, some failures, but look, overall, not too bad. Not too bad. We will rock on. Got to try things. Got to try new experiments. Now, unfortunately, I've had to stop this print because we have a problem with the printer. Is what they call under extruding. I'll pull the print out and show you in a sec because it's really brittle and doing that. Now, under extruding is when the machine is not putting enough filament down on the job, which is a problem. Now, in this machine, it means that I'm going to have to clean the nozzle out. For some reason, it's trying to put the material through and just not enough is getting down. So hang on. So this is really, the prints are meant to be solid and not be spongy, but this is really brittle and not good. And it's failing. Now, there's two reasons for this. Is A, printer is under extruding, or the other issue that causes this is the filament could be absorbed too much moisture. PLA filament over time absorbs moisture the longer it's out of the packet. I did have this in the dryer, this material in the dryer yesterday because I was expecting to use it today. So I think it's more like that when I swapped from the greeny stuff that we're using over to this bluey stuff, because I'm just using up leftover material I've got on hand. Yeah, I didn't clean it out properly. So I'll have to do that and get back on the job. So I've just done a quick clean on the print head. Flash forwards, do recommend you clean the print head on these, the extruder daily. There is on their YouTube channel the correct factory way to do that, to clean the extruder. I didn't do that today. I just changed over filaments and kept printing, which is a bit naughty. I won't show you my technique, how I clean them, because my technique is different to what the factory do. It's not recommended by the factory you do it, so I'm not going to show you. But it does work for me most of the time. I'm just cheating and lazy, but it's not a factory approved cleaning method. Anyway, so go back and resend my file and hope for the best. Well, this is day 2 of stuffing around working on the tractor program and bits and pieces. Good news is overnight the air tanks kept pressure. Gauge says there's air in it. I'm about to open the lever and see if there's air. air in the tank. Well, that's good news. And that's about the extent of the good news because, I have dramas in the background. I've probably forgot to video some stuff, but I started to glue up the tractor that's built out of bits. This is a print that I did, and I printed all the parts individually in a kit form, like Airfix kit form, to glue up. I'm working on a third version. Now, I have painted the black parts black. I've spray painted them, as I probably showed you in the video, if the editing's okay. But this is designed in a way that you could print the black parts in black PLA. Sorry, my language is failing me today. And the white parts in PLA and glue it together. I've done very little cleanup. I've just as the prints come off the cleaner, as the prints came off the printer, run over them quickly with a Stanley knife and that, and then glued them together. If you took more time cleaning the parts up, you'd probably get a better job. But at this stage, it's just whacking together and gluing up. I have got a clamp holding some bits together because I just wasn't happy. But yes, fitting together, it's not too bad. We will move on. I've got to show you some stuff inside. Right, in the printer space, this is the Flash Forge Adventure Free. This is the second one. This is the low hour one, the spare one. This is not a pro version, it's the standard version. It doesn't have the webcam or doesn't have a camera, doesn't have wired internet on this version. It is on wireless, but there is no camera, so you can't monitor the prints remotely, but it is printing, it's up and running. Only because the speed thing up, it's printing the engine for my next version of the tractor, the dog section. The printer that was playing up yesterday is still playing up. I have done all the standard maintenance requirements. It is still under extruding, which is a problem. I've cleaned the nozzle, cleaned the head. We have lubricated it. I use this stuff from Selleys, not sponsored, to lubricate my machines, mainly because actually it smells good. It's okay inside on these machines, but if you're using machines, it actually has, I like this stuff because it's got a really nice smell to it. But anyway, I use that product from Selleys to lubricate my 3D printers, each of their own. I'm at the stage with this, I've got a few more tests to run, but I'm going to have to start throwing spare parts at it, which is not really something I want to do. I have dried the filament in the dryer overnight, no change. We have tried different filament, still wouldn't work properly. So back to what I was doing. This is a new Bowden tube. So I have tried cleaning the nozzle. I'm about to do a test with all those tests to see if we can get it extrude, and if it doesn't work after doing all these cleaning and testing, I'm going to have to change the Bowden tube. Lucky I've got one spare. Normally when I replace one, I buy one. The under extrusion can be caused by three things in these machines. A, the actual extruder itself that pushes the filament playing up, and it seems to be doing okay. B, the nozzle, which seems to be clean and clear. And C, the Bowden tube. So that's where I'm up to. If I can't get it working, I'm changing a Bowden tube, which is, it's more of a messy, horrible job to do. Well, not horrible, messy, but just very fine, fiddly job to do, and I'd like to avoid that if all else fails. The other printer, doing fine. Printing out some bits and pieces for us. We're going to be very soon for me. And I've had a bit of a disaster in another situation, which we will have a look at later. But anyway, that was a Dave problem, not anything else. So that's where we're up to on day 2 of this adventure. Not as good as what I would like. Anyway, I've got to recalibrate the machine, see if I can get it back on whack, and talk to you later. Well, I've done all the tests and cleaning I can do on this machine. The next job I can do is, well, the next thing I can do is try and print something on it, see if it's still under extruding. I don't think it's the nozzle. I think it's the Bowden tube from experience. So if this doesn't extrude properly, I will replace the Bowden tube. I've got a spare. The thing that makes them a very good printer is also the thing that makes changing the Bowden tube a real pain in the rear end, because everything is fully enclosed. Now, I didn't show you through or walk you through the calibration and cleaning on this machine, A, because there's heaps of videos online. B, the way you do it on this machine is unique to this machine and is not practical or useful in any other machine. And the other version is these machines are so old, you wouldn't be buying one of them anyway unless it was second hand. And there's heaps of videos online. So I'm about to send my print through. If the print is still under extruding, well, I'm going to replace the Bowden tube. If it is the extruder, the feeder inside unit, the actual bit that pushes the filament through, if that's faulty, I'm not going to replace it. This machine will probably, that would mean it would be the end of its life. I'll have a look at that and repair it. If it's the nozzle, I haven't got any spare, but I do have a nozzle in the other machine we can swap over and test when it's finished. But that's where we're up to. I don't think it's the pusher motor. This is the bit that sits in the side there, pushes the filament through. There it is on the other machine. I don't think it's that. There actually you can pull out and clean. It's a tricky job, but I'll do all that, clean that, if I have to replace the tube. Oop, slam the door closed. Anyway, that's where we're at. We'll send a test print through, see what happens. I'm doing everything to try and not have to strip down the machine and replace the Bowden tube. What I've done is I've swapped over the print heads, recalibrated machine. So the Bluey with the swap print head printed fine. Pinky with the swap print head did not print fine. Next thing I'm going to do is swap the filaments over between the two machines. If that has no success, well, I'm stripping the machine down. Ooh. Okay, we'll try that and get back to you. So I've recalibrated both machines after swapping over the nozzles, swapping over the filament, swapping over everything, and both machines have printed fine. So my next test is I will swap the filament back over, probably redo the tests again, and then I'll try and print the job I was trying to print. Oh, these things do your head in. I removed the test prints from the printers before I showed you, but there you go. It's got me stuffed. Both printers now print fine. Now it could have been something that I did in the recalibration and the cleaning and the recalibration and cleaning and stuffing around that's now back in alignment. Only thing left to do is to try and print the job I was trying to print. Hopefully it'll work. If not, back to scratching my heads. I'm just doing my best to try and avoid changing that Bowden tube, but I might have to do it anyway. We'll see what happens. We'll return now to normal broadcast. I've just dropped physically into the print room instead of just being lazy and looking over the cameras. The two printers printing jobs both seem to be doing pretty good, doing okay, doing fine, nothing to be concerned about. They're printing complete tyre and axle assemblies for the tractor project just because they can. Good example in the video so far of why I have 4 3D printers. Because if you're working on something and one of them plays up, oh, it's aggravating. Yeah, these two little ones, they are my go-to machines because they're quick, easy to set up, easy to maintain, print and go virtually most of the time. They're pretty reliable. As with all 3D printers, they have a little, every now and then there's some maintenance requirements to keep them printing in good order, but these things have been reliable, been really good. The Ender 3, look, it's a great printer. It has its advantages that it can do a bigger print job. It can almost print double the size of the little ones and actually print job size. It can do a bit more better in the resolution. The only hassle is if you go down to the superfine resolutions, you lose speed. So I don't normally print at those select resolutions. The print speed of both of them working on a standard 0.2 layer print is comparable. There's not a lot of difference between the two. And if I had the chance to trade these ones in and buy new ones, I would in a heartbeat. The little Adventure Frees, well, they'd probably stay just for sentimental value and keep them running. I would, if the opportunity arose, without a doubt, upgrade to the FlashForge 5M. More money, 5M Pro would be my go-to. The Pro Advantage machines, having a free and a free Pro. I know the advantage of going to the Pro machine. And the free, take it or leave it. I would not buy, out of preference, a printer that isn't enclosed, just due to issues and that. These machines are caused an enclosed printer. They're like just think of a microwave oven that prints. They don't produce microwaves, but they have a nice thing that keeps everything inside nice and neat and clean. Where these things are open machine, the frame's open, it's all exposed to the element. They're called, for some reason, a non-enclosed machine. So yeah, but that's all I can feel. Go, well, why do you need 4 machines? It's because I like to have a working machine and a standby, because if our job is on, we can use all machines. Over Christmas, all 4 of these machines, if you go back and look at some of the old videos, all 4 of the machines at times were printing flat out, printing trinkets and stuff over Christmas. As a hobbyist, these have changed my modelling hobby. They allow me to design and print out stuff that I've wanted, that I do not have the fine motor control to actually make out of timber or plastic or stuff. So a lot of the stuff I've 3D printed on the railway that you've seen in the past is all because I have that ability to access these machines. So they're a life changer or a game changer for me. But that's where we're up to on the 3D printing. That's probably the update for the day. Tomorrow, interesting stuff. We'll have more tractor stuff. It's just a tractor week. Tractor 3D printer week. Alright, get out of your hair now. I just want to drop in and tell you that story about, you'll see why, if you're a hobbyist, you often have one or more printers. And these are just FDM printers. I don't have any resin printers. I almost think the day of the resin printer is over. They were pretty comparable at the time, but the ability of the filament printers is getting better and better and better. And the technology in the resin-based printers hasn't advanced that much. There's still a need for resin printers if you really want fine detail. If you're doing little tiny military type figures or table gaming figures, yes, you'd probably go down to the resin printers as a hobbyist. But for me, these things do fine. Not saying that if somebody was going to give me a resin printer, I'd jump at one. It'd be fun to have a play with. But at this stage, no. I can do everything I really want to do. Sorry, swinging the thing around on these machines. Anyway, coffee time. Chat soon. Well, this is day 3 of Tractor Project, the Big Bud project. Just quick check of the air tank. This has been sitting here charged. This is probably 48 hours. This is the second overnight trip it's been left charged. See if we've got air in it. Yep, still holding air. Pressure gauge says holding air. I have managed interneting last night to find a tank pressure gauge for this and ordered that. Probably take a week to get here from Sydney, but to have a tank pressure gauge so we can we can check how much actual pressure is stored in the tank, which is good, not just how much we are releasing. So where are we up to? Oh, I did try disassembling this one and pull the air gauge off the old one, but I managed to drop it during the process and smash it to bits. So yeah, that wasn't good. Now, tractor project. Where are we up to? Well, this is the tractor that I printed as individual parts and glued together. Now, I printed the white parts in white PLA. I would have printed the black parts in black PLA if I had some, but I didn't. So we used other colours and sprayed it black, which is a compromise I have to make. Third version, which we're gluing up today and doing some painting on, I have printed as much as possible the tractor in large components. So we have the back as one complete section, the front of the tractor in one complete section, the motor as one complete section, and the bonnet as one complete section, the 2 axles as complete sections. Now I've broken one, I've had to glue this one up. That's Dave, dropped it. And also, one compromise in doing a complete section is the roof has to be a separate piece I will have to glue on. The reason is because, as you've seen in the printers, they print from the bottom up. There's no way I could print the roof on the tractor and have it supported and then be able to remove the support services that hold the roof up, because up in here it would have to put things up there, and then I would have to try and pull the support material out through the windows, and from experience you just end up having disasters. Now there is a steering wheel in this one. Even printed the steering wheel. Oh, I did print a steering wheel in this one and glue it and put it in, but a bit of a disaster getting in there, but it has a steering wheel. So that is the state of play today. I'm going to have to paint up these bits. So I'm going to paint the axles and tyres all black, the donk black, and I'll have to glue the roof on and assemble. Now, there is a problem, and this was a Dave problem. When I was cleaning up the waste off this, I've broken a bit of the tractor off. Here's the bit I broke off. It might be on this one. One of the guards I broke. Now, that's okay, we'll continue with the project. There's two ways I can fix that. I can probably cut this bit out this side to make it match. In this case, I'm just going to leave it, or I might cut it off. But that's the hassle of doing such large prints. So technically that print, in most cases, would be a write-off. So that's one of the disadvantages of doing a large print, of printing all the bits joined up, because if you break something, the whole print's gone. Where if this was in the kit format, I could just print a new guard and print it. But anyway, and that was me just being a bit aggressive when I was moving the support material. I actually might break it off on the other side and do that and paint it. But anyway, this is tractor number 3. Now I'm going to paint the white parts, even though they're white in PLA, I am going to paint them, just because I preferred painted parts. And then we'll have a comparison when it's all done of all the 3 different big buds that I've done, and we'll talk through the bits and pieces. But anyway, that's where we're up to. So I'm going to have to glue this roof on, and then we're going to get to spray paint. Talk to you later. Well, this is Thursday. Just a quick update from the shed. I've had a really bad night last night. Didn't do very well. Didn't get a lot of sleep. But amazingly, this morning, Thursday morning, still air in the big yellow tank. Now I have ordered a tank pressure gauge for this. So hopefully it'll arrive in the mail tomorrow, and we'll fit it up, and that'll be in our final installment for the video. So that'll be Mickey Duck. Here we are with the tractors. The Big Bud. Look, we've got 3 different styles here. We've got the first one that I printed up as a kit, and then I painted it by hand with some cheap white acrylic I had here, just with brush. This second one was, all the bits were printed in PLA, coloured PLA, white PLA. Unfortunately, I didn't have any black. I had green PLA as parts and glued it up, but I spray painted the bits black that would be black. But they are the bits that would, if I had black, I'm hopefully going to order some black PLA soon. This is the third one where I actually did it as big chunks, not really as a assembled kit, but a completed tractor. Now, this morning I did, just because I wanted to, I did mask off the grill and paint the grill black, and I had a bit of a whack of painting the tyre rims white. But I think what I should do is this kit, if we do go into production, if we do limited production, don't have really great manufacturing facilities, but to do it as a kit version of a kit of parts printed in the right coloured PLA. So the black parts would be in black PLA, the white parts would be in white PLA, and you can assemble it. And then if you choose to paint it, you can. If you choose to paint it, it's not. But there's nothing worse than putting a tractor together and you'd have green or white or whatever colour that. So that's the plan. I will have to order some black PLA and look at doing a limited production run of a kit to assemble that. Now, if I had, and this is hot pie in the sky stuff, if I had a multicoloured printer, which are now coming on the market, although I can't really justify it yet, I could do the tyres in black and white. So the rims are white and the tyres are black. Same with the grill piece. I could print that so the bonnet was white and the grill was black in a machine. But anyway, that's airy-fairy, that's fishes flying type stuff. Anyway, surprisingly overnight I got a bit of a gift via email. I have spent so much money on paint and bits and pieces at Supercheap lately that I got some bonus Supercheap dollars, which is like credit you can go and spend at Supercheap. So I've been down to Supercheap this morning and I've bought myself a little a small size rattle gun, little one. These are actually, they're clearing them out. So if you want one, you're going to have to nick into your local Supercheap and get them, because they're actually selling them out. I was in there the other day and I ummed and ahed about it, even on the clearance price. I thought, will I justify that? But since I had some credit, I went and grabbed one. I'm the type of person that when I get gift cards and credit like that and stuff and net bonus stuff, I normally go for stuff I wouldn't normally buy myself, because I see that as like a free gift. So as a free gift, or this, any of that stuff we get bonuses, I normally, if it's store credit or Bunnings cards, I normally go for stuff that I would not normally buy for myself. Would be nice to have. But anyway, yeah, I grabbed that. So that's it for this instalment. There'll be probably a final update tomorrow, unless something exciting happens today. There'll be a final update tomorrow, and we'll round out the video and hopefully conclude all the projects that we've been working on this week. Get the air tank done. Get it into service. That'd be good. Anyway, talk to you later for now. Dave the Shed. Coffee cup is empty. It's about coffee o'clock. Second coffee for the day. We've got to go and get onto that. Well, it's Friday morning. Got a quick job to do here. The pressure gauge and the fitting so the Manador lump has arrived in the mail this morning for the air tank job. I still can't believe that the last charged this on Monday, 5 days ago. Not a lot, still a bit of air in the system, which is quite amazing. So I'm going to mount up this air gauge and I'll chat with you, a bit of a debrief there of the week, and talk about tractors and bits and pieces. But anyway, I'll crack on with this, disassemble, reassemble, and we'll have a quick chat. After that, I've just had a coffee. I had a coffee before I did it. Didn't bring the coffee with me. So I'm into it. It's not pretty, but it's all together. I'm about to go and fire up the compressor and pump some air in. So there probably will be some noise. Yeah. So let's do that. I won't take you with me. I'll just come back, but I'll go and fire up the compressor. I'm going to start off at 60 psi on the 60 psi medium pressure airline. Air compressor is on and charging. Going to turn on the delivery valve. If we've done this right, the gauge should go up. Should. Trying to release air out the air hose as I've plugged in. Look at that. Gauge is going up. Should go up to around the 60 psi mark. Whoa! I'll plug my hose in. So the tank is charging up. The air is discharging. We have control. So it's flowing. That is our tank pressure. So we're going to let this charge up and then we'll turn the supply off. The line should charge up to about 60 psi properly on that gauge. We'll know if we get it right because the compressor will switch off. Well, exciting. Get it right in the centre of the screen, Dave. I don't know if you can see that. Probably about full supply, so the compressor has to charge up this tank and the big tank on the compressor. I'll stop the video. So this tank is charged up and the compressor tank is charged up. The compressor has turned off. So we should be able to isolate that line. Not sure if I turned it on or off. I'll have to put a sign on it. And we have air in the tank. portable air cleaning supply. I think that's... Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to put a sticker on that on and off so I don't get too confused. But anyway, we have air in our tank. It is holding pressure. We can fill it up. Recharge the tank again. I don't know what I recorded anyway, but we let air out of the tank. I've recharged the tank. I think that's now off. We'll soon find out because there'll be air everywhere. Oh, stuffed up again. Oh, just had to make a quick mod. So it's open. Pull it up that way. Closed. Now I can release the air pipe and not have disaster. Yay! And we have air in our system. I'll drop the hose on the floor. Hey! Portable air supply for cleaning. I think I might have to go to Bunnings and shout myself a new hose and reel because I think they've got a cleaning kit from Bunnings. Next question is, should we go to 120 psi, see how the tank holds? But I'm going to leave you in suspense. We will do that next week. You'll have to come back and watch next week's video to see if Dave's magic cleaning machine or air supply tank can go to 120 psi. Come back next week. Leave you in suspense. Let's do it like the old Batman. To be continued. Next week, come back and see how it goes on the 120 psi supply line. But till then, look after yourselves. Take care. About the tractor program, the big buds are here. You've seen the big buds this week. Still got to finish that. That one needs to glue. I need to glue the diffs in and bits and pieces. I think the way to go is I will make a kit. Limited availability. It'll be a couple of weeks or even a month before we get into kit production. I've got to order some PLA in black and some white. So we'll do the black parts in black PLA, the white parts in white PLA. But if you then choose to paint them or leave them, that's up to you. Hit me up on the internets and the Facebooks if you're interested in that, and we'll do a production run soon, to be advised, but let me know. I would start printing soon, but I don't have the black PLA yet. But yes, we'll do a kit of parts, not a solid cut that you've got to put together and build your own, but this one, the middle one. Till then, keep safe, take care, don't forget to like and subscribe. And before I go, there will be big changes in the channel soon. A bit hesitant to tell you what they are yet because it's a bit surreal for me, but something that has happened this week that has changed everything. Although, till I actually get everything in writing and confirmed, I really don't want to let the cat out of the bag because to me it seems all a bit strange. I'm still processing some information that was given to me verbally over the phone. Once I get something official in writing, I'll let you know. But roughly what it means is I don't have to go to work next Monday and go, okay, everybody gets holidays, everybody gets some pieces. But it will mean that I don't have to go back to work on Monday ever again. That'll be interesting. And I've got plans, and I'll share them with you because you're all coming along for a great adventure. But you'll have to stay tuned, and it's not clickbait. So, come back next week. We'll see some more stuff. Let me know. Don't forget, like I said, like this video, subscribe to this video, share it with your friends. Please leave comments. Let me know how you're getting on. Shout out again to Glenn at Bunnings. Probably come and see you during the week to pick up a cleaning spray air hose thing, Glenn. Till then, take care, everybody. Just be nice to people out in the world, will you? A lot of ugliness going on in the world. Just be nice to each other. Till then, I've been Dave.